All right, y'all. How y'all doing today? Yes, Shirley back here with another video. So glad to see you. Glad you could be here. Glad you could join me. So this is Shirley. I am Shirley, and this is my YouTube channel called where I have three YouTube channels. Just me and Shirley, everything Shirley, and Shirley's channel chatter. So all three of my channels will be geared toward business, accounting, law, uh, current events in the news, no gossip, but current law issues in the news. Uh, and so on my previous video, I talked about the different legal system setups in different countries. So I think the video might have lasted about almost 2 hours. But I just want to make it a little shorter today and do a few more countries. I want to do a few more countries. So let me see. Let me start with, I'll start with the United Arab Emirates. So let me go. I looked up most of them from my previous video on Wikipedia, but I'm trying to find out what other sites that I could use. Wikipedia, United Arab Emirates. I'm just curious to want to know, I know this is Black History Month. Also, I want to be doing some videos on a lot of important people in our past, in our history, I guess I would say. Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman, all the abolitionists. I have a list of those, so I'll be getting back into those probably on the next video. So let's go to the United Arab Emirates. So Wikipedia. So the legal system in United Arab Emirates. So just want to see, some of the differences between, the United States, where I am at. I'm in the United States of America. So I want to see the differences between the United States legal system and some of the legal systems in a lot of these different countries. So here's the legal system of the United Arab Emirates. The judicial structure. Okay, under the Constitution of the United Arab Emirates, so they have a constitution just like we do in the States. Every state in the United States has their own constitution, and also we have a large body of law called the Constitution of the United States of America. So, and this is, it says, under the Constitution of the United Arab Emirates, each emirate is allowed to either establish its own judiciary or to merge with the federal court system. And it says the state court system. The state judicial system has also trial, appeal, and causation courts. The Emirates of Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and Ras Al Khaimah have their own courts of causation. So some of these terms, in I guess different cultures, they have different languages. So I'll try my best to pronounce these names the best that I can. But when you're so used to being in the United States and not learning different languages, different cultures, but I'm just doing the best that I can. So criminal law, the United Arab Emirates penal code is not based completely on Islamic Sharia, but derives several elements from it. Sharia law exists in the United Arab Emirates and is used in specific circumstances, such as in the payment of blood money. Wow. Individual emirates have also suspended some Sharia punishments such as flogging and stoning, replacing them with jail terms, and most Sharia system is only enforced to the citizens. Then they have juveniles. I guess this is, I don't know if this is juvenile court. It just say under the United Arab Emirate law, a juvenile is an individual age 18 or below. So the same thing in the States, United States. Capital punishment, imprisonment, or fines cannot be imposed as sentences against juveniles who commit criminal offenses. So that's in the United Arab Emirates. So if you are below the age of 18, they don't believe in capital punishment for, uh, juveniles under the age of 18. Capital punishment, no capital punishment, no imprisonment or fines can be imposed as sentences against juveniles who commit criminal offenses. So that's good to know. The juvenile's law follows a restorative justice. I learned that word too in my law class, Strayer University, how you can restore justice, restorative justice. In other words, if somebody is accused of a crime and they have to pay money damages, then basically they are putting that individual, the injured party, they would be putting the injured party back in the state that they were in before the tortfeasor inflicted those injuries on them, I guess I would say. So, you're talking about something like assault and battery, uh, different charges, that comes under tort law, civil law, and also says, juvenile law follows a restorative justice model, focusing on the needs of the young offender. Judges can issue a variety of non-punitive sentences, including reprimand, putting young offenders under the supervision of a guardian, or rehabilitation. So there will be juveniles under the age of 18. They will be, their punishment will be punitive sentences, including reprimand, putting young offenders under supervision of a guardian, or rehabilitation. So they won't put them in jail, and they won't have no capital punishment, and won't have a fine. So they're under the age of 18. So I guess a lot of people might be trying to, go over to those states, but that, you don't want to do nothing like that just to try to deter the law, from the criminal act. Judges can issue a variety of non-punitive sentences, including reprimand, putting young offenders under the supervision of a guardian, or rehabilitation. Then we have the Islamic law. The competence of Sharia courts has been limited by presence of civil and criminal courts. In some emirates, particularly ABU, Habib, however, Sharia law came to apply to all types of civil and commercial disputes, capital criminal offenses, and matters of personal status. Each of the 7 federal emirates maintain a parallel system of Sharia courts proper to it. So then we have flogging. Flogging is a punishment for certain criminal offenses, and it is applicable to both genders, both 2007 and 2014. Many people in the United Arab Emirates were sentenced to 100 lashes. Wow, that's something. So they had to be over 18 because they already said they don't have no harsh punishment for juveniles that's under the age of 18. So stoning, that is a legal punishment under Sharia law. And then they have punishable offenses, verbal abuse. Verbal abuse pertaining to a person's sexual honor is illegal and punishable by 80 lashes. In January 2014, a man in Abu Dhabi was sentenced to 10 years imprisonment and 80 lashes for alcohol consumption and aping alcohol consumption for Muslims was illegal and punishable by 80 lashes. So they're punishing people by lashes. So we don't have that in the United States, thank goodness. This is currently no longer the case after a series of judicial relaxation and a brand new penal code. Previously, many Muslims had been sentenced to 80 lashes for alcohol consumption. 80 lashes is the standard amount for anyone sentenced to flogging in some emirates. I don't know what flogging, let me see, what they said flogging was. They didn't say what it was, but it said flogging is a punishment for certain criminal offenses. Oh, okay. Such as adultery and alcohol consumption by Muslims. So flogging is when it comes, that's a criminal offense such as adultery and alcohol consumption by Muslims. So that's flogging. They have flogging, then they have stoning. So I don't know if they still have stoning. It says stoning is a legal punishment under Sharia between 2009 and 2013. Several people were sentenced to by, but all were overturned on appeal. But they have verbal abuse, they have false allegations, that's a crime. Then they have, I don't know what this is, apostasy from Islam. Apostasy is a crime punishable by so punishable by in the United Arab Emirates. Blasphemy is illegal. Expats involved in insulting Islam are punished by deportation. Or then they have dress code violations. I'm just wondering if these are old. I mean, they don't say that they are old laws. Dress code violation. The dress code is part of Dubai's criminal code. Most malls in the United Arab Emirates have a dress code displayed at entrances. They have it, or at Dubai's malls, females should cover their shoulders and knees. Therefore, sleeveless tops and short shorts are not permitted. We need some of them laws over here. We do need those over here. But I guess we are blessed to be over here in the United States. Just imagine they have a dress code. Just think about the young people and they like to, the way they like to dress over here in the United States. They would not be having nothing like that. So they said, look, the dress code is part of Dubai's criminal law. Most malls in the United Arab Emirates, they have a dress code. In Dubai's malls, females should cover their shoulders and their knees. Therefore, sleeveless tops and short shorts are not permitted. However, the dress code is not strictly enforced in public places, and it is very common to see people wearing all kinds of outfits at those places, especially in Dubai. On the beach or at the pool, people wear swimsuits and it is allowed. Then they have the check bouncers. The wording of the Federal Penal Code provides presumption of bad faith on the part of anyone who draws a draft without a sufficient and drawable balance. However, in practice, it is far more common for a check to be deposited by the payee as a tool to threaten and blackmail rather than mail fides on the part of the drawer. Mail fides, F-I-D-E-S. Then they have homosexuality is illegal and a crime punishable by law with up to homosexuality is illegal and a crime punishable by law. Then they have other offenses. They have also one of the Federal Penal Code states that provisions of the Islamic law shall apply to the crimes of doctrinal punishment, punitive punishment, and blood money. The Federal Penal Code repealed only those provisions within the penal codes of individual emirates which are contradictory to the Federal Penal Code. Hence, both are enforceable simultaneously. And it says a new federal law in the United Arab Emirates prohibits swearing in WhatsApp and penalizes swearing by $68,061 fine and imprisonment. Just imagine, they must watch your WhatsApp, because it says a new federal law in the United Arab Emirates, they prohibit swearing on WhatsApp. The fine is swear, or it says it penalizes swearing by $61 fine. It's a fine and imprisonment. Uh, ex expats are penalized by deportation. In July 2015, an Australian expat was deported for swearing on Facebook. Wow, this is something else. That's why I wanted to, that's why I wanted to get into this and see what is going on around the world. That's something else. Somebody got deported for swearing on Facebook, and then if they got deported if you well, right, if you swear on WhatsApp, and then no, swear on WhatsApp, and what's it? Facebook is saying, hold up, I think it's swearing on WhatsApp too. Okay, yeah, swearing on WhatsApp and swearing on Facebook. Okay, I want to make sure I read it right. It says a new federal law prohibits swearing on WhatsApp. You can get penalized for that, and you can get penalized for swearing on Facebook. So WhatsApp and Facebook. During the month of Ramadan, it is illegal to publicly eat, drink, or smoke between sunrise and sunset. Exceptions are made for pregnant women and children. The law applies to both Muslims and non-Muslims, and failure to comply results in arrest. So we definitely have to read up on these type of laws before we go. Now, because over here in the United States, we don't have none of these type of laws, so you definitely have to read, because what if you go over there to these countries and you have not even read up on the laws, read up on these laws. So in other words, exceptions are made for pregnant women and children. So in other words, you can't eat in public. You cannot. It's illegal to eat in public, eat, drink, or smoke between sunrise and sunset in public. So you have to eat at home, And this is in the United Arab Emirates. Personal status law. The Sharia law dictates the personal status law, which regulates matters such as marriage, divorce, and child custody. The Sharia-based personal status law is applied to Muslims and even non-Muslims if they volunteer. Non-Muslims can be liable for Sharia rulings on marriage, divorce, and child custody. However, the burden is on the non-Muslim party to request that foreign family laws are applied on a particular case. Judges would entertain such requests in line with Article 1 of the Personal Status Law. So in other words, this Sharia law dictates the personal status law, which regulates matters such as marriage, divorce, and child custody. So I guess if you plan on getting married, you're dealing with a divorce or child custody issues, then it says the Sharia-based personal status law is applied to Muslims and even non-Muslims if they volunteer. Non-Muslims can be liable to Sharia rulings on marriage, divorce, and child custody. So non-Muslims, so in other words, they say non-Muslims and Muslims too. They have to be they would be liable for the rulings when it comes to marriage, divorce, or child custody. So it says in 2015, non-Muslims owning assets in the Emirate of Dubai, were given the option to register their wills with the DIFC Wills and Probate Registry. Previously, the Sharia law could still apply to the real estate assets owned by the non-Muslims. This welcome change has brought certainty in this area of law. The wills can now be prepared by wills draftsmen duly registered with the registry. Then they have Social Security in the United Arab Emirates. It says they don't have no Social Security laws over there. United Arab Emirates has no Social Security laws, but make available welfare benefits. Okay, they make welfare benefits over there, but make welfare benefits such as free hospital and medical care. Now that's good, because I know in Nigeria, I did some research on Nigeria now, they have to pay before they can even go see the doctor. Unless they have a job. Now, if they have a job, they can go see the doctor, and they can, I guess they're taking out their pay from their job. But those that don't have, a job, and they can't pay for their medical, because they would not be seen. That's why they have a lot of, over there in Nigeria, because a lot of people can't pay for their medical coverages. They can't pay for their medical coverages. Because I have some friends over there, and I know the whole family, Nigeria. Every time they go to the hospital, they have to pay. They have to pay ahead of time. So it's not like the United States, so they don't know the system over here. So we be sharing information. So they don't know the system over here, culture over here, culture over there is different. So I learned a lot just by, communicating with my friends in Nigeria. But make available welfare payments, such as free. They do make free hospital, and that's cool for the United Arab Emirates. So they do make hospital, they make welfare benefits available, first of all. And then they do have free hospital and medical care. That's good. They have education subsidies, water, and electricity. So that's good. By virtue of the National Assistance Law, victims of catastrophic illnesses and disasters are entitled to benefits. Social Security payments are granted to people of old age with disabilities or incapable of self-support. Now that's the same thing over here in the United States. Social Security payments are granted to people of old age with disabilities or incapable of self-support. So Nigeria don't have that. They don't have Social Security. Because my friend said they don't even have a Social Security number. I'm like, what's your Social Security number? That's what I asked him. He's like, he didn't know what I was talking about. He didn't even know what I was talking about. He said, we don't have no Social Security numbers over here. And I'm like, so, But let me see what else I can find out about the United Arab Emirates. So, United Arab Emirates. United Arab Emirates. Okay. Let me see if I can find out. That's the history. Let me see if they have anything about the legal system. I don't want to, just give out. Sometimes, you can always look up. You can always research and do. Find out other things that you may want to find out. Or instead of saying legal system, say court system in United Arab. So the court system in the United Arab Emirates, legal system, it says judicial. Okay, now I'm going to go by the judicial system because they didn't give me all the information that I needed. The judicial system of the United Arab Emirates is based on the Constitution of the United Arab Emirates. The United Arab Emirates. So they do have a constitution, just like Nigeria, just like the United States. All 50 states in the United States, they have their own constitution. All the other countries that I did research on, they do have their constitution as well. I think I'm missing the paper. Oh no, here it is. So all the, different people that different countries that I researched so far, they do have their own constitution. Okay, if they have their own constitution, it's a dual system as it has local and federal courts with the Supreme Court based in Abu Dhabi. So in other words, the United Arab Emirates, they have their own constitution. They have the local and federal courts, just like the United States. Unlike Britain and other countries where previous court judgments are regularly used as legal precedents, the United Arab Emirates does not depend very much on precedents, although sometimes the judgments of higher courts can be applied by lower courts in similar cases. So they don't use the precedent cases, those model cases to follow, those important cases that they they could use to make decisions from. They can look at an important case from the past and see if that can help them with their present case, I guess I would say. But it does say that it does say that although sometimes the judgments of higher courts can be applied by lower courts in similar cases. So in other words, they still can use, sometimes they still can use, they still will use the judgments from the lower courts to make their decisions in similar cases. So where legislative provisions do not cover a specific issue, the court will make a decision in accordance with Sharia law, Islamic jurisprudence. The philosophy of law is widely used in the construction of United Arab Emirate law. We have the history, we have a legal system, so they do have a constitution just like the United States. All 50 states, we have a constitution in every state. Then we have a large body of law. We have a large body of law, the Constitution of the United States of America, the large body of law that we all must follow. It says the Constitution of the United Arab Emirates, which came into effect on December the 2nd, 1971, dedicates all this fifth section for the Union legal system. Article 94 of the Constitution stipulates that justice is the basis of authority. Then they have the sources of law. The United Arab Emirates is essentially a civil law jurisdiction that depends in the first place on Roman, French, and Egyptian laws. However, the main source of Emirati law is Sharia law. International law is another source in compilation with UAE. They have it abbreviated UAE, United Arab Emirate. Obligations signed in international conventions. So I looked up Sharia law. I could click on it too, but they said that is the religious law, Islamic religious law. But I can also get more information on that. But also then they have a constitution, and also they have the Supreme Court. So you have the Federal Supreme Court of the United Arab Emirates, being the highest judicial instance in the UAE, does not mean that it applies to the 7 Emirates. Dubai and Ras Al Khaimah have their own local judicial system. So I'm not good at pronouncing these different, I don't know what type of language that is, but I guess it's their language. Because I know in Nigeria, when I did my research, I know they have, I forget how many languages, but they have I know they speak English too. I think it's 3, maybe more than 3. I think it's more than 3, but they said the majority of the people in Nigeria speak 3 languages. Being the highest judicial instance in the UAE does not mean that it applies to the 7 Emirates. Okay, it says the Constitution also divides courts in the country into 2 types, federal courts and local courts. So they have the federal court and the local court. That's the Constitution that divides the courts. The president and the members of the Supreme Court can by no means be removed from their offices. It says the president and the members of the Supreme Court cannot be removed from their offices, except in the following cases: resignation, completion of term, or secondment, retirement, permanent disability that prevent a judge from undertaking their duties, disciplinary discharge, and finally, appointment to other offices with their agreement. So in other words, according to the Supreme Court over there in the United Arab Emirates, the president and the members of the Supreme Court cannot be removed. They cannot be removed unless they're gone. I would say that. Unless they were gone, they're gone, they left, and unless they have, retirement, unless they're gone, unless they have retirement, unless they have permanent disability, and that's it. And resignation. So other than that, they cannot remove the president and his members from the Supreme Court. So then they have, any court has its jurisdiction. It says any court has its jurisdiction. The judgments of the Emirati Supreme Court cover matters like miscellaneous disputes raising between the Emirates, law constitutionality, constitution interpretation, interrogation of senior officials, the union like ministers, crimes threatening affecting the interests of the union. Article 101 of the Emirati Constitution stipulates that the judgments of the Supreme Court of the Union shall be final and binding upon all. So the judgment of the, in any cases, the judgment of the Supreme Court of the Union shall be final and binding upon all. So it's the same thing over here in the United States. So the Supreme Court, the highest court in the land, that is the final decision. So they do have federal courts, local courts. They have, as their name suggests, federal courts are competent to consider all cases arising within the UAE territory, like disputes, domiciliary transactions, etc. They have those courts. They have a kind of emergency jurisdiction whereby a United Arab Emirate court can determine preliminary applications for attachment of a defendant's assets as well as urgent applications. And even where the court would otherwise lack jurisdiction, cases are commenced in federal courts when a complaint is filed with the Reconciliation and Settlement Committee. And then they have local courts. They have local courts over there in the UAE that basically consider cases, authentications, and all urgent matters related to disputes among people, as well as the safeguard of their rights. So local courts, they deal with people, the safeguards of their rights, security and safety. It also undertakes forcible judicial execution for execution deed stipulated by law, as well as executions by deputation or reference. Then they had the Sharia courts. They focus on civil disputes. So they have federal courts, local courts, then they have the civil courts. The jurisdiction of civil courts is generic, but they can consider urgent cases and petitions of all types, including petitions of attachments, orders of payment, and complaints. A civil court also deals with financial and corporeal rights and legal positions meant to protect by virtue of it. It does not include commercial, realty, labor, personal status, or endowment or inheritance cases. Then they have the common law courts. Then they call those the Dubai International Financial Center courts. They are independent. English language common law judiciary with jurisdiction governing civil and commercial disputes nationally, regionally, and worldwide. The courts began operation in 2006. So they have the Abu Dhabi Global Market Courts. These courts are broadly modeled on the English judicial system. The common law of England, including the principles and rules of equity, apply and form part of the law of the Abu Dhabi Global Market. The regulations as ADGM courts were also drawn from Scots and Australian federal law and have been tailored specifically to meet the requirements of ADGM. So ADGM is Abu Dhabi Global Market. Those are a particular type of courts. The direct application of English law makes ADGM the first jurisdiction in the Middle East to adopt a similar approach that of Singapore and Hong Kong. The ADGM courts have no jurisdiction in criminal matters. So those are the market courts. The ADGM, those are the market courts. And they have no jurisdiction in criminal matters. And then they have the Dubai court system and Ras Al Khaimah court system. And those courts they have two independent legal systems. For instance, Dubai's court, Dubai. Their court system has 3 stages: the court of first instance, court of appeal, and the court of causation. The court of cassation. They don't say causation, it's cassation. it looked like cassation. Cause I would spell causation. I would spell it C-A-U, but they spell it C-A-S-S-A-T-I-O-N. Court of cassation. Generally speaking, so however, it also enforced foreign judgments, arbitration awards, and awards from other tribunals such as the dispute resolution bodies within the free zones and special economic zones. The legal systems of the two emirates are different from one another at several levels, but there is at least one important similarity with which that of being independent from the federal system and from the authority of the federal Supreme Court. And it says the Dubai court system follows Sharia law principles in matters of marriages, divorces, succession, and personal status. And then they also have the arbitration, mediation, and then they have the Dubai Court Center of Applicable Dispute Resolution, and they have different other courts, mediation courts, judicial studies and legal profession. Since early years following its independence, the United Arab Emirates has tried to build a judicial framework to achieve this goal. The United Arab Emirates has worked on several levels, training people who would be judges, lawyers, clerks, and others was one very important level. Then they have the Dubai, I don't know how I have to find out exactly how they pronounce this. D-U-B-A-I. So I have to find out I don't know how they pronounce it. Dubai or Dubai, because if it's Dubai, then the A could be silent. But they have a judicial institute, a judicial academy, academy of law. See, the Academy of Law, it was established in 2015 as an independent entity to provide quality services to the United Arab Emirates legal community. In other words, for the lawyers, they have the Academy of Law. Its core function includes training and regulating lawyers, publishing and hosting events for the legal community, and providing free legal advice for people in need. So that's good. So we do have over here in the United States the pro bono. Well, I mean, if you're in trouble and you need a lawyer, you can go get a pro bono lawyer. But they do provide free legal advice for people that is in need. The Academy offers the comprehensive training to UAE legal professionals from all backgrounds and levels, from experienced English language common law practitioners through two newly qualified lawyers and those currently operating in the Arab-speaking civil system. And then they have the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators, and they have something called the Maktoum bin Mohammed Initiatives for Legal Excellence. And it says the initiatives aim at enhancing the capabilities of individuals. I almost went too long with that word. Individuals engaged in the judicial field and motivating pioneering in legal work. The project consists of a number of programs, including the moot court competition. I know one of the universities here in the United States, they have something called the moot court in their curriculum, because I previously had applied to their law school, and they do have something called the moot court legal scientific research competition, legal scholarships program, a program for legal and judicial conferences, and the Dubai International Financial Center Courts Academy. I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna find out how to pronounce that word. Let me write that down. I'm gonna write that down. So that was United Arab Emirates, and this, let me see, D-U-B-A-I. So I know I heard of a term called Dubai, but I have to, because I really never even, You know, sometimes when you don't see a word very often, you might look at it and you think it's pronounced. But the English language is very tricky sometimes. You know, you have a letter that may be silent, and you know, and then you might think it's pronounced this way, but it might be pronounced the other way. So let me see. Let me go to. Let's go to Hungary and look at their legal system. So the United Arab Emirates, they do have their own constitution, the Constitution of the United Arab Emirates. They have a Supreme Court, they have a lower court, and they have the higher courts. So similar. So let's go to Hungary. Hungary uh, court system. Okay, let's see. Constitutional Court of Hungary. They have a constitutional court. Let me see. Uh, Let me start out with that, I guess. Let me start out with the Constitutional Court. Okay, I want to make sure I'm in it right. I don't know if this is right. No, you know what? That's not it. Uh, Let me type in the court system in Hungary. The court system, let me type it in different. The court system in Hungary, okay. Constitutional Court of Hungary. Okay, here it is. It says the Constitutional Court of Hungary. That is it's a special court of Hungary making judicial review of the acts of the Parliament of Hungary. The official seat of the Constitutional Court is Budapest. Until 2012, the seat was as Turgom. The Constitutional Court is composed of 15 justices since September the 1st, 2011. And it said previously the court was composed of 11 justices. So I guess judges, 15 justices since September. So are they talking about justice of the peace, I guess? Justices of the peace. So in other words, the Constitutional Court is composed of 15 justices since September 1st, 2011. But previously they had 11. The members then elect the president of the court, the chief justice, from among its members in a secret ballot. One or two vice presidents appointed by the president of the court stand in for the president in the event of his absence for any reason. The Constitutional Court passes on the constitutionality of laws, and there is no right of appeal on these decisions. The Constitutional Court serves as the main body for the protection of the Constitution. I don't know if we have I never heard of a Constitution court over here in the United States. I never heard of it. I know we do have the lower courts, the higher courts, you know, we have the Supreme Court. But over there they have this is in Hungary, they have a Constitution Court. And then they have the Hungarian Parliament that was passed. The Hungarian Parliament passed a resolution on the establishment of a Constitutional Court. So they established the Constitutional Court October 19, 1989. Its organization and authority, however, had been determined early in the framework of the trilateral political roundtable negotiations preparing the democratic transformation of the political system. The basic provisions on the Constitutional Court were laid down in October 1989 by Parliament by way of amending the Constitution. The court was set up in order to promote the establishment of a state governed by a rule of law, as well as the protection of constitutional order and fundamental rights. Oh boy, they do have it. And then they said changes made by the 2011 Constitution. The Constitutional Court shall be the main authority for constitutional protection. So in other words, all our laws that as citizens as citizens, you know, we must follow the laws of our Constitution. United States Constitution, but they have, this is Hungary, where they have the Constitution, and they have the Constitution, then they have a Constitution court, and they have their own Constitution. So their Constitution and their court, Constitution court, work hand in hand. So it says the Constitutional Court shall be the main authority for constitutional protection. The Constitutional Court shall review the constitutionality of laws adopted but not yet published. Review at the request of a judge the constitutionality of legislation to be applied in an individual case. On the basis of a constitutional complaint, review the constitutionality of legislation or a judicial decision applied in an individual case. Upon the initiative of the government or 1/4 of the members of parliament, review the constitutionality of laws. I mean, they do a lot in this Constitution. This is the Constitution right here. Changes made by 2011 Constitution. So this is the Constitution that they made. They made some changes. So I guess they call that you know, they made some changes to the Constitution, but it doesn't say anything about the court. But they do have a Constitution court. They review the conflict of legislation with international treaties and perform other duties and authorities defined in the Constitution and in super majority laws. So it's a whole lot of stuff they did change. Then they had the justices. Okay, this will give you a chance to see. It said justices, the Hungarian Constitution. It declares that members of the Constitutional Court shall be elected by Parliament. So the members of the Constitution Court will be elected by the Parliament. So that comes from the Hungarian Constitution. So like I said, the Hungarian Constitution and the Constitutional Court in Hungary, they working hand in hand. And it says the members of the Constitutional Court shall be elected by the Parliament. And then it said it also determines the rules of such elections. Impartiality is guaranteed by having proposed members of the Constitutional Court to be put forward by a nominating committee consisting of one member each from the factions of parties represented in Parliament, and shall be elected by a 2/3 majority of all members of Parliament. Let me go on down. Controversy over the new Constitution, but I'm not going to read all this. On March 1st, 2013, the Princeton University International Constitutional Law scholar in Hungary specialist Kim Lane, they reported that the Hungarian ruling party's supermajority is reintroducing in one mega amendment multiple constitutional amendments which had been introduced before and nullified by the Constitutional Court or changed at the insistence of European bodies. So they were trying to make some more changes to their Constitution. They wanted to amend the Constitution again March the 1st, 2013, so that's passed. And that is it. So they do have, they have the Supreme Court of Hungary, and they do have their Constitution. And so I think that is it. Let me try another one. Let me look up Belarus. So I don't know how long this video is going to be. It depends. So let me see the court and ARUS. The court system in Belarus. So Supreme Court of Belarus. So first of all, let me see. Well, this is kind of short right here. No, it's not it. This is not it. Let me see. Let me type it in again. Legal system of Belarus. Let me see. It says the Union State. I don't see it. Let me try. Let me do let me do Switzerland. I'll go back. I'll do Switzerland. Let me try Switzerland, because I had a whole list. I think it's like 195 that I have to do. So I already did, I think I did 5 on my last video. And so that's 5, 6, 7. This would be like number 8. So I have a long way to go. I mean, I need the content for my channel. So let me... It says Belarus, officially the Republic of Belarus, is a landlocked country in Eastern Europe. So Belarus is in Europe. So let me see. Let me know. Instead of the Belarus, let me do Switzerland. Let me do Switzerland. I don't want to go back to Belarus. Let's do Switzerland. So Federal Courts of Switzerland. I just, came up with this idea like about a week ago. I said, it'd be interesting to look up the court systems and, in these different countries. So it says the Federal Judiciary of Switzerland consists of the Federal Supreme Court. So they have a Supreme Court. They have a Supreme Court in Lucerne, the Federal Criminal Court in Bellinzona, the Federal Patent Court in St. Gallen, and the Federal Administrative Court in St. Gallen. These courts are charged with the application of Swiss federal law through the judicial process. So the judicial process through the court process, everybody is entitled to a fair trial. So this is a short article right here. The Federal Supreme Court in Lucerne is established in the Swiss Federal Constitution as the Supreme Judiciary Authority of Switzerland. I guess I've been talking so much. Let me see if I can get a little bit water. I said, I already have my water bag. So this article right here is a little small. Let me legal system of Switzerland. So every time I wear these glasses, my nose gets the itching. Nose gets the itching. So let me see. They're not giving me a whole lot on Switzerland right now. Let me go to another one. I don't want to waste my, let me go ahead and do Israel. So Switzerland didn't give me nothing. Let me put a question mark by that one. Israel. The court system of Israel. So let me try Israel. It says the list of political parties in Israel. It says Israel court system. Let me see. This looks like something it says Israel, officially the state of Israel. Let me see what else they have, but I don't want etymology. Okay, this is not giving me what I want for Israel. Okay, let me type in courts of Israel. They're not giving me what I am. Let me try another one. I have a whole list. Let me go to this one I never even heard of. Oh, let me do, I think that's Lagos. Lagos. Let me do Lagos. I know that is, I don't know if that's in Africa. I think that's in Africa. Okay, so the High Court of Lagos State. Okay, that's an interesting one. Oh, it's a short one too. It's not giving me enough information. It says the highest court of the law, the highest, the highest state court of law in Lagos. It has several divisions, including Lagos Island and some different ones, Badagry and Corodo. This is not giving me. Let me type in. Let me type in the legal system of Lagos. It says Lagos, the law. I did Nigeria, University, Lagos Colony. Okay, let me type in something else. Okay, I'm gonna go off of Wikipedia. Let me go to Google. Okay, I don't see, okay, about Lagos and Lagos state government. Okay, let's give me a little information about Lagos. Lagos state was created May 27, 1967 by virtue of states which restructured Nigeria's, I figured it's in Nigeria Federation into 12 states. Prior to this, Lagos municipality was administered as a federal territory by the federal government. The state took off as an administrative entity on April 11, 1968, with Lagos Island serving the dual role of being the state and federal capital respectively. However, with creation of the federal capital territory of Abuja in 1976, Lagos ceased to be the capital of the state, as this was moved to Ikeja. Similarly, with the formal relocation of the seat of the federal government of Abuja on the 12th of December 1991, Lagos ceased to be Nigeria's political capital. Nevertheless, Lagos remains the nation's economic and commercial capital. So in other words, Lagos is the capital of Nigeria. Lagos is to the people of Nigeria what the head is to the body of an individual. The state is located in the southwestern part of Nigeria, so that's Lagos, on the narrow plain of the Bight Benin, lying approximately on longitude 20 to 42E and 32.2E respectively, and between latitude 60.22 north and 62N. I don't know what that means. 22N and 62N. Lagos State is bounded in the north and east of Ogun State of Nigeria. Just think of you travel and you don't know where you're at, where you're going. And that's what I'm saying. This would be, I mean, I guess you would have to have a tour guide to go over there, you know. I would never go over there by myself. Yeah, I'm so used to the United States. I mean, I get over there, I'd be petrified, terrified. Demography, Lagos State is the smallest state in Nigeria, yet it has the highest urban population, which is 27.4% of the national estimate. According to the 2006 national census, Lagos State has a population of 9,013,534. That's all the people they have? 9,013,534 in relation to the national count of 140 million, 3,542. However, based on the Unhabitat and International Development Agency's estimates, Lagos State is said to have about 24.6 million inhabitants in 2015. Of this population, metropolitan Lagos accounts for over 85% on an area that is 37% of the land area of the state, and the fact that Lagos population is growing 10 times faster than that of New York and Los Angeles. Really? Because a lot of people probably moving from the United States over to Lagos, because a lot of people I know, I mean, I have seen some videos where people have, worked over here in the States and saved their money and retired and went over to Nigeria and purchased homes. And they're now living over there in Nigeria. So like I said, I have one family over there, friends of mine over there in Nigeria. So, but they know I'm from the States and we communicate on the regular. So I'm learning more about their culture and they're learning a lot about my culture here as well. So they are very fascinated with the United States. And I'm fascinated with Nigeria because I always be asking a lot of questions. I asked them a lot of questions. How is it over there? They said they still pumping water. They have to go outside and pump water. I'm like, wait a minute, really? But I'm like, it's fascinating. So, so let's see what else it has. Lagos, Nigeria's Legon City, Africa's leading knee pad city and world's sixth mega city, is a bargaining global urban agglomeration which attained megacity status in 1995 when its population soared to over 10 million people. From its global city ranking of 31st in 1985, Lagos' population exploded to 13.4 million in the year 2000 to become world's sixth mega city and Africa's foremost urban center and hub of national, regional, and global socio-economic and political activities. So that's something. So in other words, they started with, I think it was 9 million, over 9 million, and then, but it says in relation to the national count, 140 million, over 140 million, but it started out with like 9 million, but then they said now the population rose in 1995 to, I think they said, 1985. 1985, we said, 1995, it soared to 10 million. So that's what it's saying. Oh, okay. In 1995, it soared to 10 million, but in 2000, it soared over to 13.4 million. It says Lagos State is essentially a Yoruba environment inhabited by a sub-nationality of Aworis and Ogas and Kija and Badagry divisions respectively, with the Ogas being found mainly in Badagry and the Awori forming an indigenous population of Lagos, where there are nevertheless pioneer immigrant settlers, Edos, Seros, Brazilians, Kanik, Tapa, etc., collectively called Lagosians, but more appropriately referred to as the Ecos. Okay, then they had the administrative divisions with a territorial land area of 351,861 hectares. Lagos State is made of 5 administrative divisions. Lagos State, 5 administrative divisions. And I am not going to pronounce these 5 because I don't want to, butcher them. The divisions were created in May of 1968 by virtue of administrative divisions. The divisions are further divided into 20 local governments and 37 local council development areas, respectively, in accordance with Nigeria's federal structure and the need to bring governance, development, and participatory democracy to the grassroots. And I'm not going to read all of this. Let me see. It's just languages, Then it says Lagos. This is the core of Lagos State and a highly urbanized division. I wanted to see about the court, but it's not saying anything about that. It says Lagos in Nigeria's economy, 29 industrial estates and 4 central business districts, largest market in sub-Saharan Africa, home of the Nigerian capital and money market. So it's a lot of stuff that's just information. So, when you do research, you can find a whole lot out about. I was trying to see, let me go back and see if they can give me some about the court system. Courts, let me see, court. let me type in legal. And the legal system in Lagos is not coming up under that. It do have the law, it does have the law of Nigeria. Let me go on here, legal system. Well, it says the legal system of Nigeria, so it's not giving me nothing different. It just says the law of Nigeria consists of courts, all offenses, and various types of laws. Nigeria has its own constitution. So I read over this before. So Nigeria has their own constitution, but let me see what they're saying about Lagos. So they have the hierarchy of the Nigerian legal system. They do have a Supreme Court. They have a Court of Appeals. They have the tier 3 courts, tier 4 courts, which are the state courts. They have other courts called the election tribunals, code of conduct tribunal, the Sharia law, and the Sharia law, also known as the Islamic law. Because I've been saying that a lot. The law that's used only in the predominantly Muslim north of the country. Sharia meaning way or path in religious law, like I said, religious law of Islam. So it's not giving me a whole lot. Let me try another one. Let me try Bulgaria. Legal system or court system. Court system is, so I'm not going to make this video too long. I think this may be my last one. They got politics. So it's not coming up under this either. They got a constitutional court. Separate constitutional courts include, I'll go in here. Okay, they have a constitutional court is a high court that deals primarily with constitutional law. So a constitutional court, but it doesn't say Bulgaria. Okay, let me click on this one. It says the Constitutional Court of Bulgaria is in charge of reviewing the constitutionality of laws and statutes brought before it, as well as the compliance of these laws with international treaties that the government has signed. The 12 members of the Constitutional Court serve a 9-year term. Parliament elects a third of them. So in other words, Bulgaria, they have their Constitutional Court. And so in those courts, they determine the constitutionality of laws, because I know, you have to follow the Constitution when it comes to these laws. So they're in charge of reviewing the constitutionality of laws and statutes brought before it. And that is it on that article. That's a short article. Just tell me about constitutional. Let me type in something else. Legal system of Bulgaria. It just say national legal systems are generally based on one or four basic systems. Bulgaria, officially the Republic, legally known. No, it's not telling me. No, let me see. Let me type something else. Bulgaria. Bulgaria. So Bulgaria, so I wanted to type something different. Okay, this might be it right here. About Bulgaria's legal system. Okay, this may be something right here. Bulgaria is a country in Southeast Europe. So Bulgaria is in Europe. Bulgaria is a country in Southeast Europe. It's situated in the east flank of the Balkans and is bordered by Romania to the north, Serbia and North Macedonia to the west, and Greece and Turkey to the south, and the Black Sea to the east. Bulgaria covers a territory of 110,994 square kilometers and is the 16th largest country in Europe. So Bulgaria is the 16th largest country in Europe. So I want to read everything. Let me go. Then they have etymology. The name Bulgaria is derived from the Bulgars, a tribe of Turkic origin that founded the first Bulgarian Empire. Okay, let me go on down the history. I don't want to read all about the history. The first Bulgarian Empire. So they're the 16th largest country in Europe. Let me see what they're saying about. Then they have they tell me all about the war. It's a whole lot of stuff right here. Geography and climate. Okay, I don't see anything about the court system yet. It says, who they have up here? He was the President Roman Radev, and Prime Minister Galab Donev. Administrative division, Bulgaria is a unitary state since 1880s. The number of territorial management units has varied from 7 to 26. Between 87 and 99, the administrative structure consisted of 9 provinces. A new administrative structure was adopted in parallel with the decentralization of the economic system. It includes 27 provinces and a metropolitan capital province. All areas take their names from their respective capital cities. Bulgaria is a highly centralized state where the Council of Ministers directly appoints regional governors, and all provinces and municipalities are heavily dependent on it for funding. Then we have the economy. In Bulgaria has an open upper middle income range market economy where the private sector accounts for more than 70% of its gross domestic product. All the goods and services that they take in over, I guess, a period of time. From a largely agricultural country with a predominantly rural population, in 1948, by the 80s, Bulgaria had transformed into an industrial economy with scientific and technological research at the top of its budgetary expenditure priorities. I don't know why I wanted to say it's priorities. I'm trying to read so fast to get through it. I don't want my video to run out. So let me see. Structures and sectors. The labor force is 3.36 million people, of whom 6.8% are employed in agriculture, 26.6% in industry, and 66.6% in services sector. Let me see. Science and technology. Spending on research and development amounts to 78% of the GDP. I don't see nothing about the court system, demographics. Population of Bulgaria is 6,519,789, according to the 2021 National Census. I remember when the census, sometimes, over here in the United States, they come to your door, but they do send the forms out. So I filled mine out, send it back in. So they have the census also. According to the census data, they have, as of 2021, that was 2 years ago, 6,519,789 people. The largest cities or towns in Bulgaria, they have different ones, a whole lot. I'm not going to read all of them. Education, language. Bulgarian is the only language with official status and native for 85% of the population. It belongs to the Slavic group of languages, but it has a number of grammatical peculiarities shared with its closest relative, Macedonian. We have religion. Bulgaria is a secular state. So church and state will guarantee religious freedom by Constitution. By the Constitution. I don't see nothing about the court. Let me go on down. They got sports. But Bulgaria appeared at the first modern Olympic Games in 1896 when it was represented by gymnast Charles Champard. And then that's it. And so it didn't give me nothing about the court. It didn't give me nothing about the courts. So let me see if I could. Bulgaria. Bulgaria. So Bulgaria legal system. The principle of establishing and functioning of the tax system. All right, let me try another one then. Let me see. I don't know if it's Tago. I don't know how. That's Belarus right there. Let me try Lebanon. Let me see. One more, I guess. Let me try Lebanon. L-E-B-A. Let me try legal system in Lebanon. This might be the last one. Legal system in Lebanon. So, you know, just sometimes you gotta loosen up, y'all. So legal system, Lebanon. Okay, here we go, Lebanon. So, you know, just curious to know, you know, the legal system in a lot of these different countries. So Lebanon is a country in Western Asia. So Lebanon is in Asia. Let me write that down. In Asia. So Lebanon is in Western Asia. It's located between Syria and to the north and east, and Israel to the south. The earliest evidence of civilization in Lebanon dates back to 5000 BCE. So the earliest evidence of civilization, 5000 BCE. From 3200 539 BCE, it was home to the flourishing Phoenician civilization before being annexed by various Near Eastern empires. So it's a whole lot to read. I'm not trying to read all that, but the history, the borders of contemporary Lebanon are a product of the Treaty of Sevres of 1920. Its territory was in the core of the Bronze Age Canaanite city-states. Part of the Levant, it was part of numerous succeeding empires throughout ancient history, including the Egyptian, Assyrian, and Babylonian, and Achaemenid, Persian, medieval Lebanon. I'm trying to see if they tell us about the court system. They got a French mandate. In 1920, following World War I, the area of the Muda Sarai Fate, plus some surrounding areas which were predominantly Shia and Sunni, became a part of the state of Greater Lebanon under the mandate of Syria and the Lebanon. Steps toward independence. Lebanon gained a measure of independence while France was occupied by Germany. General Henry Dents, the Vichy High Commissioner for Syria and Lebanon, played a major role in the independence of the nation. So independence from France, so they became free of France. It said following the end of World War II in Europe, the French mandate may be said to have been terminated without any formal action. on the part of the League of Nations or its successor, the United Nations. The mandate was ended by the declaration of the mandatory power and the new states themselves of their independence, followed by a process of piecemeal and unconditional recognition by other powers, culminating in formal admission to the United Nations. In May 1948, Lebanon supported neighboring Arab countries in a war against Israel. So I'm not going to go into all this, but they did have a civil war, 1975, 1990, and occupation 1976 to 2005. So this tells me about the war and all that. I didn't really want to go into all that. Let me see. I typed in the court system and then they give me all this. Lebanon is located in Western Asia between latitudes 33 and 35 and longitude 35 and 37. Its land straddles the northwest of the Arabian Plate. So this is just, they have the climate. Lebanon is a moderate Mediterranean climate. Lebanon was covered by large forests of cedar trees. They got a lot of trees. I see the pictures here. So I don't have no plans of traveling to Lebanon. No. They say Mount Lebanon is a mountain range in Lebanon. It averages above 2,500 to 8,200 feet in elevation. Nope, that's like mountains right there. Yeah, that's what they say, mountain range. Government and politics here at the bottom. Lebanon is a parliamentary democracy that includes confessionalism, in which, well, they do have it in blue that I could click on it and see what exactly they're talking about, in which high-ranking offices are reserved for members of specific religious groups. The president, for example, has to be a Mammorite Christian, prime minister a Sunni Muslim, and speaker of the parliament a Shiite Muslim, and the deputy prime minister and the deputy speaker of parliament Eastern Orthodox. So the president, for example, had to be a Maronite Christian. And then, but they do have it in blue where I can click on it, but I'm not going to go. This system is intended to deter sectarian conflict and to represent fairly the demographic distribution of the 18 recognized religious groups in government. So they had these requirements for these different offices that, you know, that's what they have, the government and politics. So they say the president has to be a Christian. Prime minister has to be a Sunni Muslim. Speaker of the parliament has to be a Shia Muslim. And the deputy prime minister and speaker, they must be Eastern Orthodox. And here comes the law. There are 18 officially recognized religious groups in Lebanon, each with its own family law legislation and set of religious courts. The Lebanese legal system is based on the French system, and is a civil law country, with the exception for matters related to personal status, succession, marriage, divorce, adoption, which are governed by a separate set of laws designed for each sectarian community. For instance, the Islamic personal status laws are inspired by the Sharia law. So I read about the Sharia law. It is the religious Muslim laws. For instance, Muslims, these tribunals deal with questions of marriage, divorce, custody, and inheritance and wills. Non-Muslims' personal status jurisdiction is split. The law of inheritance falls under national civil jurisdiction, while Christian and Jewish religious courts are competent for marriage. They're competent for marriage, divorce, and custody. Catholics can additionally appeal before the Vatican Rada Court. And then we come down here to the Lebanese court system. Has 3 levels. For instance, it has the Court of Appeals, and it has the Court of First Instance, it has the Court of Appeals, and then it has the Court of Cassation. The Constitutional Council rules on constitutionality of laws and electoral frauds. There also is a system of religious courts having jurisdiction over personal status matters within their own communities, with rules on matters such as marriage and inheritance. So the Lebanese court, they do have 3 levels. They have the court of first instance. So I guess when you petition the court for a particular case, that would be your first level. And then, in other words, you have a trial, and then, that trial is over, and it might be some rule or law, some rule of law may not have been, interpreted right in that first, you appeared in the first instance, first court proceedings, and then they have the court of appeals, I guess, if you're a lawyer or to petition the appellate court for an appeal, and then they have the court of cassation. That's the third. So first instance, the court of first instance, court of appeal, and then the court of, it's similar, the court of cassation would be the last one. It says there also is a system of religious courts. Then they got religious courts. So I don't know, we don't have no religious courts over here in the United States, because I've never heard of any. So they do have their Lebanese court system with the 3 levels. Then they had the religious courts. They say they had the religious courts. There's also religious courts having jurisdiction over personal status matters within their own communities, with rules on matters such as marriage and inheritance. So the religious courts, they dealing with the things dealing with, special proceedings such as marriage and inheritance cases. It says 1990, Article 95 was amended to provide that the Parliament shall take necessary measures to abolish political structure based religious affiliation, but that until such time only the highest positions in public civil service, including the judiciary, military, security forces, public and mixed institutions, shall be divided equally between Christians and Muslims, without regard to the denominational affiliation within each community. Well, they have some big words in this reading. So let's go. Then they have the foreign relations. Lebanon concluded negotiations on an association agreement with the European Union in the late 2001, and both sides initialed the accord in January 2002. It is included in the European Union's European neighborhood policy. I'm not going to read all that. Then they had the military. They had the Lebanese armed forces. And they had 72,000 active personnel, including 1,100 in the Air Force and 1,000 in the Navy. So that's something. Didn't even know that, because the only thing I think about is the United States Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. But soldiers of the Lebanese Army in 2009, they do have a picture. So let me see if I can show this picture. This the soldiers in the Lebanese Army. This the soldiers in the Lebanese Army. Soldiers in the Lebanese Army right there. So I think I'm going to be ready to shut this video down. So those are the soldiers in the Lebanese Army. And that was 2000. Soldiers in the Lebanese Army, that was 2009. So they also, that's the military. So like I said, they have 72,000 active personnel, 1,100 in the Air Force and 1,000 in the Navy. Lebanese Armed Forces their primary mission in the armed forces includes defending Lebanon and its citizens against external aggression and maintaining internal stability and security, confronting threats against the country's vital interests, engaging in social development activities, and undertaking relief operations in coordination with public and humanitarian institutions. Lebanon is a major recipient of foreign military aid, with over $400 million since 2005. It is the second largest per capita recipient of American military aid, behind Israel. So I don't know if the United States helped with their military aid or not, but they also have, so in other words, Lebanese, they have their own armed forces. They have their own armed forces where they have Air Force, Navy, and they don't say nothing about the Marines. They just say active personnel and the Air Force and the Navy. Then they have the LGBT rights. Then they also have the administrative division. Lebanon is divided into 9 governorates. They're divided into 9, which are further subdivided into 25 districts. The districts themselves are also divided into several municipalities, each enclosing a group of cities or villages. I'm not going to read all those. Then they have the economy. In Lebanon, they do have their own constitution. See, Lebanon's constitution states that the economic system is free and ensures private initiative and the right to private property. Lebanon's economy follows a laissez-faire model. Most of the economy is dollarized, and the country has no restrictions on the movement of capital across its borders. The Lebanese government's intervention in foreign trade is minimal. Lebanese economy went through a significant expansion after the war of 2006, with growth averaging 9.1% between 2007 and 2010. Lebanon has a very high level of public debt and large external financing needs. So that's just like wherever all these other countries. And tell you about the population. Let me see what else they had down here. Then they had the history. I don't want to read all of that. They do have education. According to surveys from the World Economic Forum's 2013 Global Information Technology Report, Lebanon has been ranked globally as the 4th best country for math and science education, and as the 10th best overall for quality of education. In quality of management schools, the country has ranked 13th worldwide. Then they talk about the health. So it covers a lot in this article. Okay, it says in 2010 they spent on healthcare. Healthcare accounted for 7.3% of the country's GDP. So there were 31.29 physicians and 19.71 nurses per 10,000 inhabitants. So they have a lot of doctors and nurses. The life expectancy at birth was 72.59 years in 2011. So people were living to 72 years old to be 72. That was in 2011. Or 70.48 years for males and 74 for females, and that was 2011. So that was like, what's that, 12 years ago? 13. 12 years. 12 years ago. So that was 12 years ago. So that was 72. Life expectancy at birth was 72.59 in 2011. So that means 70, and then they have or 70.48 years for males, 74.80 years for females. So as of 2011, their residents will live to be, life expectancy was 72.59. So 72.59. So I assume that you might well just round it off to 73, a 73-year-old person, and 70.48. So that's almost like 71-year-old resident. And then that's for males, and for females was 74.80. So it seemed to me the females were living longer. Because they were in 2011, 74.80. So you might well say that's 75-year-old person. Then they have demographics. The population of Lebanon was estimated at 5,592,631 in 2021. That's 2 years. 2 years ago. 5 million, 5.5, 5.5 million. So then you have with the number of Lebanese nationals estimated to be 4,680,212. That was July 18th, July 2018. So let me go down here to religion. Lebanon is the most religiously diverse country in the Middle East because the relative sizes of different religions and religious sex remains a sensitive issue. A national census has not been conducted since 1932, so I'm not going to read all of that. In language, Article 11 of Lebanon's constitution states that Arabic is official normal language. So they speak Arabic. I don't know what that is, but I want to find out. I'm going to do some research on that one. A law determines the cases in which the French language is to be used. The majority of Lebanese people speak Lebanese Arabic. So they speak Lebanese Arabic. They speak Lebanese Arabic. So that's what I'm saying. You go somewhere like that, Lebanon, and they speak in Lebanese Arabic, and you like, you know what? I just speak English, you know. And they could be saying some stuff that you don't understand, you know. And then you think about then coupled with the laws of that country, and then you roll up on some people that they speaking. I mean, you come into their country, so you know that's up to, you know, that wouldn't be their problem, you know, that would be our problem, or whoever will travel to those, you know, to Lebanon. And it says, I don't know if they speak English over there or not. It says there's also a significant presence of French and of English. Okay, so they may speak a little English. They may have some residents that do speak English. Almost 40% of Lebanese are considered francophone. What in the world? It says there is also a significant presence of French and English. And it says almost 40% of Lebanese are considered francophone, and another 15% partial francophone. I need to look that up because I don't know what that is. Francophone. I'll have to look that up. Francophone. I don't know what that is, but it's not in blue where I can click on it. It says, okay, then their culture. The culture of Lebanon reflects the legacy of various civilizations spanning thousands of years, originally home to the Canaanite Phoenicians, and then subsequently conquered and occupied. And then it says Lebanese, let's see, in other words, the Crusaders, the Ottoman, Turks, and most recently the French. Lebanese culture has over the millennia evolved by borrowing from all these groups. Lebanon's diverse population, composed of different ethnic and religious groups, has further contributed to the country's festivals, musical styles, and literature, as well as cuisine. Despite the ethnic, linguistic, religious, and denominational diversity of the Lebanese, they share an almost common culture. Lebanese Arabic is universally spoken, while food, music, and literature are deep-rooted in wider Mediterranean and Arab Levantine norms. Well, it seems like they have fun over there when it comes to the culture as far as their food and music. But said the culture, it says they most of them speak the Lebanese Arabic, and they do say they have a French and English. They do have French and English. I guess people speak French and they do speak English. And it says then they have because they say Lebanese Arabic is universally spoken. That's what they speak, and they speak in Lebanese Arabic, and that's universally spoken, while food, music, and literature are deep-rooted. So a lot of people, even over here in the United States, food and music And that seems like that, most of the time, that is what is deep rooted in the culture. So I know, over here in the United States, we love music. We love music. We love rap music. We love R&B. We love country. We love all types of music. So most of the time, in a lot of these cultures, music is definitely deep rooted in the culture. Music and food. Because if we can sit around, family, you have your family reunions, you have your cookouts, and we put our little food on the grill, and then we play our music in the background, sit around talking, and then some people might get up and dance. So same thing, the same thing over here in the United States. They have arts, they have literature, music, media and cinema, holidays and festivals, cuisine, which is food. Lebanese cuisine is similar to those of many countries in the Eastern Mediterranean. Syria, Turkey, Greece, and Cyprus. The Lebanese national dishes are the Kibbe, I guess that's Kaib or Kabi, a meat pie made from finely minced lamb and burgle, cracked wheat. So I'm not even gonna try to read. Lebanon has 6 ski resorts when it comes to sports. They have 6 ski resorts. Lebanon has 6 ski resorts. Because of Lebanon's unique geography, it's possible to go skiing in the morning and swimming in the Mediterranean Sea in the afternoon. So I would love to see the Mediterranean Sea, because when you in your history classes, we talked about the Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean. We did talk about the Mediterranean Sea, but it would be one thing to go and see it. We learned about them in our history book. And I think I'm going to close this video out. Then they have science and technology. Lebanon was ranked 92nd in the Global Innovation Index, 2021, down from 88 in 2019. Notable scientists from Lebanon. I said the word so much I can't even pronounce it. Notable scientists from Lebanon include Hassan Kamel Al-Sabah and Ramal and Edgar Shayari. So that's about it for Lebanon. And I think, let me see what time I am at. So I think I'm going to close out on this video. I think I'm going to close out on the video. So I want to say thanks for joining me for this video. Thanks for joining me. And so I'm just trying to, create my content. But, thanks for joining me. Hope to see you again on my next video. And so hope to see you on my next video. So like I said, I'll be bringing all business related content, law, business, accounting. Current current events, news, current events in the news, and also you get the time, check out some of my books in the Google Play, on the ebooks. So check out some of my books. That's the back of the book, front of the book. So also have and that's the back of the book. So, Google Play, the Google Play Store under ebooks by Cheryl Hubbard. So my collection of children's books. So I have, I get joy out of writing my little children's books. But I want to say thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you on the next video. So subscribe to my channel, give me a chance. So I'm just building my content. I just started my 3 channels. Everything Shirley, Just Being Shirley, and Shirley's Chatter. So check out check out any one of my channels on YouTube. So I'm just building my content. So I don't have that many videos right now, but I'm working on it. So that's why I'm really not asking people to join my channel right now, because I'm really just building on. I think I only have, I don't know, about 5 or 6 videos on each. Well, Everything Shirley, my Everything Shirley channel. I have a whole lot of videos on that channel, but my other channels, just slowly building. So I'm just taking my time. But thanks for joining me. Hope to see you on my next video. And so, any suggestions on topics that you might want to, terms that you might want me to research, topics you might want me to research, talk about, I'll be glad to do it. But, thanks for joining me. I hope to see you on my next video. So, all I want to say, be safe out there. Enjoy yourself, and I'll see you on my next video. Have a good one. Bye.